missing, but I'll just keep right on. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the live. Coming in to thank everyone for joining the previous lives, for subscribing and liking the channel and all the content on the channel. I can't thank you all enough. I just have to keep telling you, I really consider you all the heroes and the sheroes, especially those of you who are still in your careers and working diligently in your careers and in your families. It's not the easiest job, but because of you all, the rest of us can survive in the world along with you. Okay, maybe we can start a Q&A. That might make the screen work better. What are you doing this weekend? Alrighty. Maybe that might make the... Okay, well, it disconnected and reconnected. So welcome in, anyone that's just now coming in, welcome in. I know this screen is a little dark. I had a procedure done by the ophthalmologist for my eye. So I'm going to keep the lights a little low for now to give my eyes a little rest. There's a bit of a healing going on in my eye. It's coming along well. And needless to say, I am grateful for my vision. Oh, so grateful for health. So grateful for all of you all, for life and strength. There's so much to be thankful for. The best neighbors. The power went out in our building last night. Everything was pitch black. And all of the neighbors, we were calling each other and we were knocking on each other's doors to make sure everybody was okay. And in a matter of a few hours, the power came back on. So, but we just let everybody know we're going to look out for everybody. Everybody will be safe. No problems, no worries. So that's wonderful to have good neighbors. I have a lot of faith in people, and nobody's going to change that for me. I've lived too long, and I know that the majority of the people in this world far outnumber the ones who are doing their absolute worst. Okay, I don't want to give medical or legal advice because I believe that we should get the medical advice and legal advice from people who know our medical history and take care of us. And we should get legal advice from a trained legal professional and medical advice from a trained medical professional. But I do want to say, no matter your age or how healthy, stay on top of your health. Stay on top of everything so that you stay um, well and strong all the way into your retirement. And things will need to be repaired over the years, but if we take care of ourselves day by day, it makes everything easier later on. So, um, if you have any distortion in your vision, in your field, no matter your age, again, have it checked out. Even if it's something that you've seen over your entire lifespan and you're still young and you feel as though it's no big thing, still go and have it checked out and ask for a referral to an ophthalmologist, a retina specialist. They are also ophthalmologists, but their specialty is greater than the ophthalmologist. The retina specialist is going to find things that the ophthalmologist won't even know to look for. So whenever you can, ask for a referral to see an ophthalmologist that specializes in the retina, and just have your retinas looked at from time to time and not wait until there's a problem. Okay, because as time goes on, as the years go on, things will develop. You may see floaters in your vision, things that may look like maybe an eyelash in your eye, may look like a little thread floating by. And a lot of that is normal, but sometimes things can come up as a result of just writing everything off as normal that may lead to something that's not normal. There may be something minor that can be fixed early. So yeah, remember to see your retina specialist from time to time, whether or not you're having any problems, but definitely if you have any problems with your vision, definitely ask for that referral to a retina specialist. And even if you have to throw a tantrum and people tell you no, you don't need it, you have the best vision they've ever seen for your age, no matter what they tell you, still ask for the referral and insist that you have a referral to a retina specialist. So I didn't have a lot to say, but that was important because I do from time to time see things that are age related come up, and even though no one told me, or maybe they didn't know to tell me, I don't hesitate. I tell everybody that will listen, this happened and this is how I resolved it. And don't wait until you have an issue with your vision. Have things checked out right away. Yeah. And another friend was telling me long ago now, it's been a long time, that the it's the obstetricians, the gynecologists that deliver the babies, that they are responsible for those babies until that child turns 18 years old. And that was something I had never heard. So I wanted to pass that along just in case there are parents out there wondering in the back of their mind. Sometimes parents know things and they don't feel empowered to say certain things to their doctors. Maybe they feel a little intimidated or bullied by the medical establishment. Until your child is 18, that whoever delivered that child is responsible for any and everything that they may have caused, anything damage or anything that they may have caused, or errors of omission or commission. They have that liability. Keep that in mind. Okay, besides that, I noticed there's a lot online on YouTube about something that's totally unrelated to medical or legal or anything that I've talked about so far. Nothing to do with family abuse or domestic violence, nothing like that. But there's something that's maybe trending. There are many YouTubers and content creators that are talking about the work environment, the hostile and work environments that they have to deal with, and the adverse impact on their health. Well, nowadays, there are employment law firms set up especially for that. And this is not legal advice. This is just a fact of life. Years ago, when some of us were in the workplace, there was no employment law firms around to help us sort problems out. But now there are. So that, you may not have to really suffer so much because there are federal laws, the EEOC and many different other federal labor laws, so that you have more power behind you in the workplace now. But it's the power that you use. It's the only rights that you have are the rights that you're willing to defend. The rights that you're really willing to demand. That's basically what it comes down to, because not everybody is cut out to work for other people. It just so happens that some of us had no choice. We had to, we only had one option, and that was to go into the workforce, work until we retired or died trying, And we weren't really trained for anything else. We didn't have a cushion to fall back on. It was swim or sink. Nobody was going to pay anything for us. No. But nowadays you have so many options for gig work and independent contractor. There's a guy I just saw on YouTube, a creator. His channel is U, the letter U, the letter D like dog. I think it says UD Create or UD Creator. And he goes over all the different apps that the delivery people use, DoorDash and all the different ones. And he helps people understand how to use multiple apps while they're on duty working instead of just using DoorDash. Maybe they can use one or two others. If they're driving in the same direction, they may be able to use multiple apps and this way increase their income without driving so many extra miles. And he gave them this app that's for caterers. They have special apps that they use for caterers, and they apparently are making a lot more money by delivering for caterers because of the high turnover volume. They're delivering so much more in one trip on a catering job than just from a restaurant to a door. So they can eventually work up to an elite status, according to what that man is saying. They can work up to an elite status, and then they have more perks. That way they can earn more. So look in your app store for UD. I'm sorry, look on YouTube for a creator, UD Create. UD Create. Let's see if I can find his page again so you can see it. I heard another man talk about how he listened to several different YouTubers, and that's how he learned to do DoorDash by listening to the YouTubers that were actually doing food delivery, and he learned just by following their suggestions. And welcome in to anybody. Welcome in to everybody. My screen says 0 in the chat, but if you see the replay, welcome in. And thank you for listening and liking and sharing all of the content. Okay, here's his channel. His channel is UDM. UDM, like Mary. UDM Create. Apparently, he's got a lot of experience and knowledge about food delivery because he talks about all the different states that he's delivered to. You know, he may be in Florida, and then he's talking about delivering to Ohio and all these other states he wants to visit and deliver. I mean, that must be nice to just be able to do delivery and then use that to pay for your vacation. Just hop from one state to the next and work a few deliveries, pay for your vacation. That guy has a lot of knowledge. I would listen to him. UDM. UDM creates. CREATES creates. And he doesn't hold anything back. Some people don't like to give away trade secrets, but he's the opposite. He wants to tell everybody how to make that money. So, okay, so just to recap, we talked about food delivery service, of course, and someone that's offering trade secrets and how to make money. And then we talked earlier about employment law firms and employment laws. And the YouTube, of course, has employment law on there. Khan Academy has, you name it, they have it there for free. So that's another place to check. And then for those who like to look at things in Bible or Quran, I was just now reading in Surah 34, Sabah, Surah 34, Sheba. The last time I read on YouTube from here, it was Sheba went to visit Solomon. That was 34 and 1 through 13. Quran Surah 34 and 1 through 13. I didn't read any of the chapter notes, but I found something in the note that goes along with what we were talking about. Hostile work environments and difficult in co-workers and difficult supervisors. I found something here. It talks about what was going on in the environment when people were building the temple, Solomon's temple, in the footnotes. One footnote is number 3807. It says, the building of the temple was a great event in Israelite history. The motto here given is work, W-O-R-K, work. For only that would justify the maintenance of the kingdom of David, which reached its zenith under Solomon. Without work, both literally and figuratively, for, quote, righteous deeds, close quote, all that glory and power would be out of place. And it fell away in a few generations. with the decline of the moral spirit, which was at its back. I'll read that again. Without work, both literally and figuratively, for righteous deeds, all that glory and power would be out of place, and it fell away in a few generations with the decline of the moral spirit which was at its back. That says a lot. Okay, there's a little bit more here. Put some more meat on the bones. Okay. The next note. This allegory illustrates 3 points. Number 1, however great and glorious human power and grandeur may be, it is only for a time, and it may fade away even before people know of its decline. Number 2, the most remarkable events may be brought to light not by a flourish of trumpets, but by a humble individual, unknown and unseen, who works imperceptibly and undermines even so strong a thing as a staff on which a great man may lean. Number 3, work done by men merely on the basis of brute strength or fear, as in the case of the gins, JINNS. In the last live, if you weren't in the last live, in Quran, jinns are considered made from fire, and there are 2 classifications, good spirit and evil spirit. Welcome in. Hi. Thank you and welcome. I am going to read a little bit from the Bible. Yes. Right now I'm reading footnotes. Yes, Quran. Footnotes in Quran. And if you missed it, I was speaking about a few things, so I'll summarize. Since you're the first one, I think you're the first one to ask a question, or you're the first one that I can see in the live. I was speaking about there's a trend on YouTube where people are talking about the hostile work environments. It's so true. The hostile work environments. If they sometimes feel so oppressed and depressed, and it's costing them their health, and some of them have to leave and just leave the job with nothing to replace it. But because it's so toxic for their health, they have to leave. So I mentioned I found something on YouTube here. This man's YouTube is called UD like David, M like Mary. UDM Creates. CREATES. UDM Creates. And he tells all this good information, secrets, and tips that people won't tell. You know, this is why the environment is so stressful for people, because only a few people want to rise to the top salary So they don't want to tell anybody how they got there. But if you check the beginning, or you replay this and check the beginning, you can hear all of my comments about the toxic work environment. But in the Quran, I'm in chapter 34 again, Sheba and Saba. Thank you. Yes, you'll enjoy the beginning of this. Saba and Solomon. And I think we read in another live earlier, we read 1 through 13, but I'm reading the notes that I didn't read before. And they talk about the value of work and how the moral spirit is behind the work that was done to build the greatest temple that was ever built, the temple that Solomon built for his father David. And it's when you replay this live, you'll hear all about that. I read that note. It says the building of the temple was a great event in Israelite history. The motto here given is work, WORK, for only that would justify the maintenance of the kingdom of David, which reached its zenith under Solomon. Without work, both literally and figuratively, for righteous deeds, all that glory and power would be out of place, and it fell away in a few generations with the decline of the moral spirit which was at its back. See, this is why people they just cannot tolerate some of these toxic work environments because the moral spirit behind it. We talked about the jinn before. Those are the evil jinn in those work environments, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Those are the evil jinn that people cannot even come to work and do do what they need to do to survive. Moving on to the next the next note. Oh, and I mentioned that the light is turned low because I had a procedure done on my eye yesterday at the ophthalmologist, a retina specialist. He did a procedure on my eye, and I want to keep the lights. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. You're very kind. I wanted to keep the light low on my eyes so that they could heal. It's healing so well, and I wanted to keep it rested. But I still wanted to jump on the live and, for a while and say some things that I keep hearing on YouTube. People just keep saying the work environment is so toxic, and it's been like that for a long time. So, anyways, the next note says this allegory illustrates 3 points. Number one, however great and glorious human power and grandeur may be, it is only for a time, and it may fade away even before people know of its decline. Number two, the most remarkable events may be brought to light not by a flourish of trumpets, but by a humble individual, unknown and unseen, who works imperceptibly and undermines even so strong a thing as a staff on which a great man may lean. Thank you for understanding. Yes, thank you. It's um it's difficult for me to just close my eyes and sleep all day. I'm going to sleep and then wake up and then catch sleep when I can. It's just, I don't know. Not everybody is made to sleep a lot, and the older I get, the less sleeping I want to do. I figure I'll be going on to Jenna sometime soon, and I want to do as many righteous deeds as I can right now, so that it will cover so many of my horrible deeds. Let's go to number 3. It says, work done by men merely on the basis of brute strength or fear, as in the case of the jinns, will not endure. This is brought up in strong contrast against the power and majesty of Allah, peace be on him, which will endure, which cannot be sapped, and which can only be fully appreciated by a training of the will and heart. I gotta read that again. That's good stuff. Work done by men merely on the basis of brute strength or fear, as in the case of the jinns, will not endure. This is brought up in strong contrast against the power and majesty of Allah, which will endure, which cannot be sapped, and which can only be fully appreciated by a training of the will and heart. In the same way, in David's story above, his mighty strength as a warrior, and they say to go to chapter 2 and 251, and his skill in making armor are only to be valued when used as it was used in the service of Allah in righteous works. That's so, that, okay, thank you for coming in the stream. Thank you. And enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much. I didn't want to stay long. I need to rest my eyes. But I did want to say this because so many people, they are suffering. They are suffering. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to put from the Bible, 2nd Chronicles, we read chapter 9 that was about Sheba. But I wanted to read chapter 3 and verse 4. Chapter 3 and 4. And it's still talking about the building of Solomon's temple. Solomon builds the temple. Okay, we're going to go from 1 through 4. Then Solomon began to build the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to his father David. It was on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite, the place provided by David. He began building on the second day of the second month in the 4th year of his reign. Number 3, the foundation Solomon laid for building the temple of God was 60 cubits long and 20 cubits wide, using the cubit of the old standard. And number 4, the portico at the front of the temple was 20 cubits long across the width of the building and 20 cubits high. And he overlaid the inside with pure gold. Oh, okay. Well, that's good enough there. I don't want to stop, but I think I will, just to give my eyes a little rest. But I hope you enjoy the replay, and I hope everybody has a good weekend. Again, thanks everybody for subscribing and supporting this YouTube with likes and shares and all that you do. I certainly appreciate it. And take care. See you on the next live. Love you guys. Bye bye.